Hello and welcome back to the Movie Memo Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2021 movie titled Stillwater. Please be advised that there will be spoilers ahead. The film opens with Bill Baker, a laid-off oil rig worker from Stillwater, Oklahoma. He goes about his life, interviews for part-time construction jobs, and visits his former mother-in-law Sharon, who is ill and requires an oxygen tank. He helps her around the house, and she offers him some goods to take to his daughter, whom he plans to visit. He goes to his daughter's room and collects some of her things to deliver to her. He travels to the airport and discovers a gold Stillwater necklace at the gift shop. Bill travels to Marseille, France, and settles into a Best Western where the entire staff knows him. He is certainly a returning guest. He tries to sleep, but the music from next door keeps him awake. He goes to the balcony and asks the woman next door to turn down the music, but she says she does not speak English. Bill prepares a care package and goes to the prison to pay a visit. The logbook shows him making several visits to the location. He patiently awaits permission to finally see his daughter, Allison, who faces a murder conviction. Allison studied overseas, and when her partner Lena was found killed, Allison was charged in a high-profile case. Despite the media's conviction of Allison's guilt, Allison and Bill have steadfastly maintained their innocence. Allison revealed that Lena had been with another person that night, Akeem. Allison has been in jail for years, with more years to come. Allison hands Bill a letter to give to her lawyer, emphasizing its importance. He goes to visit the lawyer, but she is unavailable, so he refuses to leave it for her, preferring to return when she is available to ensure she can read it. At the hotel, Bill notices a little child, Maya, sitting outside the door of the room next to his and assumes she is locked out, so he takes her to the front desk to assist her in getting another key for her room. Later, he meets with Allison's lawyer, Mrs. Lepark, who reads the letter Allison wrote in French. She informs Bill that Allison has exhausted all legal alternatives and that he should not give her false optimism. She says she can't help with the situation. Back at the hotel, Virginie, the neighbor from the balcony, approaches Bill to thank him for assisting her daughter, Maya. She adds that she does speak English, and she apologizes. Virginie adds that she and Maya are staying at the hotel for a few days since they are relocating and the new apartment is not yet ready. She informs Bill that if she can do anything for him, he should let her know, and he begs her to translate Allison's letter. While reading it, Virginie realizes who Bill and Allison are. According to the letter, Allison's professor informed her that a student in his outreach program overheard someone bragging about stabbing someone and getting away with it. The letter requests that Lepark investigate this lead, given the lack of trust in Bill's ability to handle any situation. When Bill visits Lepark's office for help, an employee tells him that Lepark has clearly closed the issue. They offer Bill information for private detectives, and he grows enraged and leaves. He visits other attorneys, some of whom hardly speak English. He eventually meets with De Rosa, a private detective, who reads the letter. De Rosa, a former law enforcement officer, explains to Bill how difficult it will be to locate the young man if he has not already fled, obtain a DNA sample, and then match it to the unknown DNA found at the crime scene. He has contacts in the police department who can test it. The investigator informs Bill that the total cost of the investigation will amount to $14,000. Bill scoffs and leaves. Bill meets with Allison, who is eager to learn what Lepark had to say. Unable to break her heart, he informs Allison that Lepark is investigating, and she is pleased. Bill seeks assistance from a hotel service member in locating the professor's contact information. He visits the university and meets with him. The professor offers Bill the contact information for the girl who had the lead on Akeem but says she doesn't speak English. Bill asks the professor to interpret for him, but he says he can't get involved, even though he feels Allison could be innocent and wishes him luck. The hotel staff gives Bill the address of Virginie and Maya, and he buys a toy to give to her. He informs Virginie of the issue, and she agrees to contact the girl for him. He offers to help her with some of the plumbing and electrical work in her new flat, which she accepts. Virginie agrees to accompany Bill to meet with the young woman and translate for him. On the way, they discover more about each other. Virginie is an actress who has little contact with Maya's father, a long-distance affair. Bill informs Virginie that Allison's mother committed suicide and that she grew up with her grandmother while Bill worked on oil rigs. When Virginie questions him about punching a reporter, it becomes evident that Bill also struggled with substance usage. When they meet with the young woman, she is accompanied by a friend who strongly warns her not to snitch until she closes up and refuses to speak. Bill attempts to press her, but Virginie discourages him as the situation turns heated. Virginie points out to Bill the housing neighborhood where the young woman lives but adds they are unlikely to speak with him because he is an outsider. Meanwhile, Allison tells Bill that during a hearing with the judge regarding her potential parole for 1 day a month, she encountered someone from Le Parc's office who seemed confused by her explanation, expressing skepticism about whether her father had actually delivered the letter to Le Parc, but Bill says he'll handle it. Virginie copies images from the party where the young woman heard the confession in case Hakim is somewhere. She urges Bill to take them to Allison so she can pick him out, but he refuses since he doesn't want Allison to know that Le Parc isn't working on the case. Virginie is perplexed but asks him if anyone else knows what Hakim looks like. Bill recalls that the owner of the bar had seen him, so Virginie and Bill go to meet him. When the bar owner sees photos of the children, who are largely Middle Eastern immigrants, he compares them to Mexicans in America and threatens to lie, claiming that any of them could be guilty of a crime. Virginie exits, horrified by his prejudice, and refuses to speak with him again. The two argue, with her wondering why Bill isn't furious and him explaining that his job is to free his daughter from prison. Virginie tells him she's finished assisting him and departs angry. Meanwhile, Sharon contacts Bill to ask how much Le Parc will cost now. She says she spoke with Allison, who claimed they hired her again. Bill's responses make no sense, so she declares she'll call Le Parc, despite Bill's pleas not to. Running out of time, Bill visits the prison and sees Allison, who is puzzled, angry, and has learned the truth. He only tells her to look through the images to see if she can spot Hakim. Eventually, she recognizes him. Bill takes the images and visits the project himself, asking questions and exhibiting Hakim's photo. Nobody aids him. Eventually, a group of young males begins mocking Bill, which escalates into violence, and the group begins beating him up. Hakim eventually comes, and one of the young men shows him the picture and tells him that Bill is looking for him. In the next scene, Virginie travels to the hospital to see Bill, who is healing and says he gave his only contact information to the doctors. He approaches Allison and reveals the truth. Lippard declined to assist, so he took action on his own, which proved successful in locating Hakim. Allison, enraged, asks him why he didn't snap the picture and report it to the police. Hakim has now left. She can't believe he let her mess up again, and she tells him she doesn't want to talk to or see him anymore. 4 months later, Bill is still in France, working in construction. He lives with Virginie and pays the rent. He picks up Maya from school and spends a significant amount of time with her. She helps him in the basement as he does repairs and fixes. Virginie is informally dating a local theater director. Meanwhile, Le Parc calls Bill to let him know that Allison has received permission for 1 day of parole each month. With no one else to care for her, Bill signs the form agreeing to supervise her. He asks Virginie whether it is okay if Allison comes to visit, and she assures him that it is. On parole day, Bill picks up Allison in his construction car. He explains that it is from his new job and that he informed her about it, but she claims she has not been reading his letters. He brings her to buy flowers, then to Lena's grave, where Allison places them. They go to a quiet spot by the water, and Allison tells Bill about how much she loved Lena, but when she let her move in with her, Lena began seeing other people, and she felt so exploited, but she just wants to see her again right now. They get to the apartment, where Virginie prepares dinner for them. Allison asks them at the table whether they are sleeping together, which embarrasses Bill. They both confirm to her that they are not. After, Bill and Maya play, as Allison sits and talks to Virginie. She claims Bill appears pleased, but she later urges Virginie to be cautious, telling her a story of how Bill threw away all of her mother's stuff because he didn't pay the bill at the storage facility. She calls him a fuck-up, just like Allison. When Bill returns Allison to prison, she hugs him and expresses her joy for him. Bill receives a call later and rushes to the hospital. Allison attempted to commit suicide by hanging. When he comes home, Virginie consoles him, and the next day Maya discovers they have fallen asleep in the same bed. Bill returns to his normal routine, spending time with Maya and even attending one of Virginie's shows, despite the fact that it is in French. After dinner, they both agree they'd like to take their relationship to the next level. They sleep together, and the next day Maya catches them acting romantically. Bill surprises Maya with tickets to a football game. They have a terrific time during the game until Bill notices Hakim in the crowd, which surprises him. He follows him from the game to a restaurant, Maya accompanying him the entire time. When she falls asleep, Bill kidnaps Hakim, duct tapes him to a chair, and locks him in the basement. He delivers some of Hakim's hair to De Rosa, whom he pays for the DNA test. De Rosa is concerned, telling Bill that if he does something wrong, he will be sent to jail rather than freeing his daughter, but Bill merely encourages him to get it done. Maya tells Bill she knows about the man in the basement, and Bill tells her he's a horrible man and wants her to keep it a secret. The DNA results take days to come back, and Bill feels frustrated since he has to keep Hakim in the basement for longer than he expected, feeding him while waiting for the findings. When Bill goes down to check on him again, Akeem begs him to let him free, explaining that he was only doing what Allison wanted. He claims Allison paid him with a gold necklace, but Bill believes nothing he says. Finally, he says, "Stillwater," like the necklace indicates. This disturbs Bill, but he duct tapes Akeem's mouth shut and goes. Bill phones Sharon to inquire whether the Stillwater necklace he purchased for Allison was with her during the trial, but Sharon has no idea what he is talking about. The next day, Virginie notices De Rosa skulking outside the apartment. She goes downstairs, and he claims to be a construction inspector, asking whether there has been any noise or smells coming from the basement. She declines, saying that if he gives her a card, she will call him back, which he finds dubious. When he goes, she looks at the basement door. Bill brings up Maya from school, and she wonders if he is going to kill the wicked guy. Puzzled, he assures her that he would never harm her or her mother. Upon their return to the apartment, police swiftly surround them, arresting Maya and forcing Bill to unlock the basement. They descend, anticipating Bill's arrest, only to find no one there. The police interview Bill, Virginie, and Maya in their apartment. The lead detective asks Maya when she last went to the basement, and she lies, saying yesterday. He cautions her not to lie and threatens to arrest Bill, but Maya repeats yesterday's statement, and the cops leave. Virginie, who let Akeem escape, summons Maya to her room and demands an explanation from Bill. He confirms what happened, and when he informs Virginie that he saw Akeem during the game, she tells him to go. He tells her he never intended to implicate them. He goes to say farewell to Maya, but she does not talk to him. He packs his luggage and prepares to go, but Virginie sends Maya out and instructs her to say goodbye to Bill. Bill returns to the Best Western, and Le Parc invites him to a meeting. She claims DNA evidence was found that matched both the crime scene evidence and another burglary. She emphasizes that this is extremely excellent for Allison. Allison receives her discharge and gets a wrist tattoo featuring Lena's name. They return to Stillwater, where the town celebrates her exoneration and her return. Following the celebration, Bill asks Allison if she recalls the jewelry he gave her at the airport. She tears and reveals the truth. She gave it to Akeem, but she only wanted him to get Lena out of her flat. She never expected it to happen the way it did. She sobs and asks whether he hates her. He assures her that he could never hate her. She's his daughter. Later, while they relax on the porch, Allison comments on how everything appears to be the same. She asks whether he agrees, and he answers no, everything appears utterly different to him now. Thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.